Good morning.
Oh, great to see you.
Good morning.
Always great to see you.
When's game day for you?
Tomorrow night,
Tomorrow night against
Yes,
Geelong.
against the Cats.
Jeez, that's going to be a belter.
2 top 4 Melbourne teams.
Oh,
But
at
we're
the
not
G.
getting included in this so-called rivalry round like everyone else is.
Well, they're the two oldest clubs in the comp.
I like to think we are a rival.
Yeah.
Probably not as much as Carlton, Collingwood. And
Well,
then
it feels like you're more of a Footscray thing at the moment, just topically.
topically, yeah, it's starting to fade along in and around that era. We had sort of 5 games in a row where it was decided by less than a kick with Geelong.
Kick one after the siren.
And one of them, and I missed one before the siren.
That's
so
right.
I've been involved in both.
Okay.
Zach Tui kicked one after the siren
Yeah.
against us down there.
Sneaky.
You've played a
Sneaky.
couple of finals in recent years.
Couple of finals. So I like to think there's a rivalry here, but obviously not as much as the showdown, the Q Clash, the Battle of the Bridge, and Carlton Collingwood. And Saints North.
Yes.
Oh, well, one of the great
obviously.
rivalries.
Yes.
What time they give us? Oh, 4:35. That's the new Twilight. That's the one everyone wants.
That's the new
And they've
Friday
given-
night.
It is.
The one everyone wants. They've given to St Kilda
They're
North.
just trialing it.
What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
They're trying to trial a twilight time and see if they can get viewers, and they whack St Kilda North in there. Well, I'll give you an early tip. The numbers are going to be down.
It's a good way to halt momentum.
It really is. How do we put a handbrake on this? Well, why don't we give it to Saints and North Melbourne? See if we can really knock the stuffing
It's a
out
great
of it.
time slot.
It is.
It really is.
Is that your favourite time to play?
On the Saturday one, not Sunday.
Not
There's
Sunday.
a massive difference.
Well, that's
in the day.
normally our slot, the
Yeah.
4:40 Marvel.
4:40. So you're 5 minutes earlier, technically.
Yeah, well, the boys will be up and about. AFL players, coaches, and umpires will observe a moment's silence to honour victims of domestic violence during this weekend's round of games. Adelaide and Port Adelaide players stood arm in a circle before the showdown last night. I think we all agree this is a lovely initiative from the AFL. Probably long overdue in a lot of ways, but it's a powerful statement.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I went into last night, so we obviously got prepped up about 4 hours before last night and said, I'll just watch how it goes in Adelaide Port, and that's how you'll do it against Geelong. So I watched with my wife, and what it did do is it created a conversation between me and my wife.
Oh, this is great.
The naysayers saying 40 men cuddling in the middle, is that really doing anything for domestic violence? I say yes, because the awareness that it brought for Jess and I to have a conversation about it.
Starts a chat.
And what she delved into, like I sort of knew in the back of my head, like I didn't grow up anywhere around this. My mum's my hero and I don't have any sisters. But Jess was sort of talking along the lines of being scared to walk at night,
Yeah.
leaving trails for anything just in case something happened, locking doors when driving. And that got brought up in a simple awareness chat while the moment of silence was going on. So if that happened between me and Jess, I dare say that happened in multiple lounge rooms around Australia, and it's good.
Would have been nice if Jess had respected the moment's silence and not talked all the way through it, but I get what's happening.
Marty.
Oh, sorry.
But we don't stop at this though. We obviously
No, we
Exactly.
I'm from a non-violent area. I don't know anyone that's been in that space, but I haven't said anything or done anything in this space as well. So I've sort of been a bystander where I could actually get on the front foot, which I think is what we're encouraging
Now.
now.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I'm more than happy to jump in. I wish I jumped in a lot earlier, but it's sort of come across my desk recently, and
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to be an ambassador in this role. Or
Exactly.
Right.
Well, you can only do what you do when you do it.
Yeah.
And everyone has different timelines that they work off. But this conversation that Brad Scott started around Tarrant Thomas again, using the phrase a good man, and I don't want to go through it all. I banged on about it yesterday, but it is important. Tarrant Thomas should not be allowed to play in the AFL again.
The only comment and I'm normally really good with you, Marty, but I don't know anything about this story, and I'm honestly there. I'm not a massive news guy. I get my news.
I'm not
from
going to
Marty
nutshell
Sheargold.
it for you. I'm not going to nutshell it for you, Max. But you know, the suggestion was that he, you know, the AFL was going to wash their hands of him. Well, that's not what's happened at all.
Yeah.
North supported that kid through various versions of his behaviour, and then they'd had enough, and they let him go.
And now what's happening?
Well, now, you know, there's this soft campaign starting that Tarrant Thomas could rejoin the AFL next year. And if Brad Scott is softening us with words like he's a good man who's made a couple of mistakes and this kid ends up at the Bombers, I'll spew.
Yeah.
It's not Max's place to comment. Though,
No.
so.
No. But,
I'd like to be
it's
more
still
schooled
it's
up
an
in it,
important
so-
part of
It
this issue.
Yeah. I think I'd like to read into it to
Yeah.
see what actually is going on because it is obviously important to the AFL.
Well, if you
with
really
what's
want to
going
read
on.
into it and understand it, I won't get any of these guys to put a sheet together for you because you'll never understand it. Let's take a break.
All right, Max Gawn
Oh,
is with us this morning.
Let's keep moving, Max. Essendon Ruckman Sam Draper's reached out and apologised to Luke Beveridge following comments on his 200-plus podcast. We got a grab of that, Troy? Oh, Jesus! Troy's almost gone down.
Literally fell off the chair.
We have high stools, and you use the sort of the round circular bit where your feet are. You use that to stand up.
Stand up.
And that's just gone.
Troy kicked it into the
Back
screen.
into the big
okay?
screen. That's I
The
think
big
it's fine.
screen's fine.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
fine.
break a TV these days.
Yeah. And I'm fine. Everything's
Not
great.
one of our Kogans.
Sam Draper, you're asking for, Marty?
Yes, please.
Yes, here's the grab.
I've got a big call about the doggies.
Go. Good. We need something for this podcast.
If Bevo's still there,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be some players requesting trades.
Whoa.
Wow.
Why
Do you
don't you
reckon
give
he-
us anything like that, Max?
I
Anything
walk
to
out
say
of
about
here
Goody?
sometimes thinking I've said the wrong thing, and it can really send you in a real, like, the next 24 hours, you're like, geez, I hope no one listens to the Marty Sheargold Show.
Well, you can't guarantee some things in life, Max.
Everyone does. That's the issue.
No, but this thing is, Max, it's like you're allowed to have an opinion. Like, I just hate this world we live in now where, as soon as you say something, the world picks it up and runs with it, reinterprets it, puts their own interpretation on it,
Yep.
and no one says anything anymore.
I like Sam, and I don't necessarily listen to the podcast, but I like what they're doing with their podcast, and a lot of AFL footballers that are delving into that space. But I disagree with you on this opinion.
He's
dare say.
probably, do you reckon he's just having fun trying to wind people up?
I just think you shouldn't really comment on people's careers / coaches' careers.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
You'd be disappointed if a teammate of yours
I
said something.
I
like
think
that.
so, yeah.
He won't be sanctioned, but has agreed that he erred in his decision to take part in the jovial banter. Perhaps he should reach out and apologise directly to Luke.
He
Beveridge.
has.
Has he? Good on him.
Yep.
We've covered the Ken Hinkley thing off. He thinks he made a mistake in playing Connor Rosie. So that's that. Let's have a look at the round.
You don't want me to talk about Ken Hinkley's career? No.
What do you reckon? I have heard, though, and
No,
I'm serious,
I'm joking, mate.
that if Ken goes around next year, players are going to leave that club.
Ken's been there for 10 years, and Watsy and Trenners, who are two good mates of mine, said he's the best coach they have ever had, and I've had a couple of their coaches, and I think they're the best coaches I've had. So Ken must be really good.
Yeah, well, not if you believe Koshy. He's tried to get rid of him most years.
Do you believe Koshy?
I used to.
I lean Carl.
Oh, you're a Carlos
You're a
guy.
Carl guy.
I'm a
I mean,
Carlos
I love
guy.
the larrikin that is Carl Stefanovic. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. He's just a Queensland kid done good.
Yeah.
What do you think about the hamstring, though? Did you see the game last night?
I understand what would have happened behind scenes with Rosie.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there.
So he gets through training. He runs as fast as
And
he
he
can.
would have done 5 to 6 days, 5-day break, whatever it was. He would have done 5 days of being the most ultimate professional, passed
Yep.
every test. And then it almost looks like, as a captain who's choosing not to play, he's like, wow, he's been conservative. Like, I agree with the decision, and it's just backfired a little bit then in halfway through the third quarter. He still played a good first half, I think.
Yeah. Were you surprised Adelaide won?
No, derbies and showdowns and Q clashes and anything can happen in them.
It's just clean slate.
Clean slate.
2-horse race.
I'm surprised they've won 8 in a row. I didn't know that.
No, I don't think it's 8.
Oh,
I think you said 3.
Oh.
But I'm surprised that it's so tight. I think
Where
that
did they hit 8 in a row?
I'm not sure, but I think that takes it to 28 v 27
Maybe
in
that's the
the
eight, yeah.
head-to-head.
Yeah, right.
The big one, well, not necessarily for you, but a big one tonight, 7:40, Carlton Collingwood.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, this is even if Carlton's last and Collingwood are first, or vice versa, this is still a pretty good game to
This
watch.
is massive.
I think you can schedule this on a Friday night for the next 20 years. Like, it's going to be 90,000.
Even though North started Friday night football.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, what happened there?
No, we had a couple of bad Fridays.
At the time, North were excellent.
Mate, brilliant.
We aren't actually, as an AFL playing group, we aren't really putting together great Thursday night footy right now.
Well, it's about to have its rest, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's-
Pretty
it
close
hasn't-
to it.
Round 14, I think, is the
Hasn't
first.
been a good game for a while on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I really like Thursday night footy.
Yeah, I can get around it.
I can get around it as a TV viewer. I
I'm,
don't think I'd ever attend one.
I'm particularly not upset if the game's over at half time, like that Bulldogs Saints one a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
you're happy to.
Well, having to go to bed early.
Well,
Thank God. And
There's
I'm
been
watching-
games that haven't even started by half time. We've been involved in a few of them. So
Yeah.
that's made you stay up.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the
But
opposite
when's
of
Max
fair.
going to fire up? Well, you're always good, Max.
Thank you, Marty.
Carlton, Collingwood. Geez, it's anyone's guess, isn't it? You would think perhaps Carlton.
I'll go Carlton. And not saying Collingwood are not what they are. I just think Carlton are red hot right now.
They're up and
After
about.
a loss, a good team like that can just bounce right back.
Losing to Goey and Mitchell too.
Yep.
Out of that midfield.
I think it's a
Um,
Charlie Curnow show tonight.
Battle of the Bridge is interesting for the first time in a while. Sydney versus GWS.
And the two best teams in the comp. Oh, I mean, excluding probably Geelong. I actually, 1:45, I might be sleeping because I do sleep. I sleep before
You'd
my
like to have a
game.
little day nap.
I like to have a little nap. Ideally, when George and Louis wake up, I then go to sleep.
Nice.
Look, I'm going to go
It's a coin flip, this one, isn't it?
Giants.
I said Giants.
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 Let me just
Good.
double-check.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, they are red hot, as is footy.
At the SCG.
St Kilda North, I mean, that's anyone's guess.
Yeah, that's.
I bet North are at about $4.80 though, even
About
though
there.
St Kilda are awful.
$6.25.
They've brought
Are they really?
They
Yeah.
brought Webster straight back in.
6.25.
See that?
Yeah.
Webster straight back in.
I'm going to go Saints. Sorry.
No, I don't. Melbourne, Geelong.
Hey, I'll go the D's here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you
Nice.
might.
It is.
That's going to be a belter though.
Well, every game's really within a kick apart from the last one. So
That's going to be a belter. Who will you primarily ruck against there? Because they do tend to rotate a few blokes through there.
they do put a few. Reece Stanley will start, I dare say. But certainly Blitzards, Hawkins, and DeConning can jump in
Jeez,
there.
they're
as
all
well.
good, aren't they?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of battles with Reece. We've played together. He's 1 year older than me, and we've both been playing as the number one ruck for 10 years. So
Yeah, so you're aware of each
we've
other.
had a lot of battles.
He's
And-
a strong man, Reece Stanley. He's got
He
like a bench
benches-
press record.
I think he's got a bench press record.
Yeah.
It grows every time someone tells it, but I think it's like 160 something.
And he won a grand final sprint too.
Yeah. What do you bench?
About 140.
Yeah.
Do you like him as a bloke?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
Was it just a handshake? Good
yeah,
luck.
I think he's good looking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if that helps.
Got a bit of the bloody Harry Potter's about him, has he?
Yeah, I think he's got a farm, which is
Oh,
so a
farmers.
good looking farm boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, he
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
wants a wife.
I think he's got one.
He's married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
has he? Well, that's one wife. West Coast versus the Bombers. I mean, who cares?
What a time slot. 8:10.
8:10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, could be bloody 3 a.m. No one's going to watch it. Richmond Freo.
Oh, what do you mean?
Every time I think of West Coast Bombers in Perth, I think of the game they won when James Hird was suspended and Goody was coaching or something, and they won. And you're not. You're
No,
not
I'm trying
with
to.
me
I
here.
know Hurdy played his last game over there.
No, as coach, Hirdy was suspended and
Oh right,
they went
okay.
over and won.
Yeah.
It was an amazing game.
Famous the Sheedy jacket wave as well.
Yeah.
The rivalry between these two.
That's
teams.
not the game I was talking
No,
about.
no.
but, and I think he also the hug game was against.
Yes,
West
it
Coast.
was. Yeah. That
So
was
it's
What
a
was
bit
the
of-
hug?
when he
Telstra
gave the crowd member the hug.
Yeah.
Who
James
did?
Hird, you are a genius.
Ah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Richmond Freo.
At the G.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go Tigers to bounce back.
Oh, that's a big call.
Yeah.
That's a huge call.
Tigers, for some reason, I can just see Richmond playing good daytime MCG footy.
Mm. Yeah.
Supposed to be dry on Sunday, Troy.
Yeah, it's mostly fine all weekend, Marty.
I think we're fine for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no rain till about
Fingers crossed.
midweek. I think Thursday next week.
Bulldogs Hawks. Yawn.
Well, no, this is not a yawn. This is
It's hard to pick.
Yeah, I'm going to be excited to watch this.
Who would have thought Bulldogs Hawthorn could be hard to pick? What's
Well,
happened to the
It's not
Bulldogs?
hard to pick. Bulldogs, you pick Bulldogs,
Yeah.
but it's going to be good to watch.
Well, that remains to be seen. And then
The Q clash.
The
What's this
Q
time
clash.
slot?
I was trying to think
Will.
of what it was called.
It's a public holiday
They got
Monday.
Labor Day the next day.
Yeah,
I'm so
they've,
mad about it.
they've got a
Yeah,
day
right.
off up there on the Monday. Brisbane Gold Coast.
Are you call you?
No,
getting
no,
a gig?
not involved.
No.
I'll just be wearing my Bears dry as a bone and
Okay.
my scarf.
Have Gold Coast ever won this?
Oh yeah, they won the very first one in their first season.
They wouldn't have won many though, surely.
No.
They're going to win this
Brisbane would have a
because
very.
Brisbane are a rabble. Whatever's going on in LA in that WhatsApp group has torn that club asunder.
I'm going to go the Suns here.
Every time you pick
I
against
took
Brisbane, they
Brisbane.
lose.
Okay. Well, you're looking into this a lot.
You're the poison chalice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have a mate that tips based on what you say. You've got quite a good record.
I for some reason I can tip the upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if is this an upset. Gold Coast beating
Yeah, Brisbane heavy favourites. Yeah.
Okay, are they?
Heavy favourites?
Yeah, they are.
$1.40, yeah.
Gold Coast haven't lost in Queensland.
I'm
this year.
amazed that Brisbane are $1.40. What are the Gold Coast?
It's $2.72.
270, yeah.
Oh.
This is half the issue of gambling in sport. Is we,
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
talking
Gamble
about is the odds.
responsibly.
Yeah, enjoy the game, not the odds, mate.
Oh,
That's
mate,
right,
I
yeah.
do enjoy the game. I don't enjoy the odds. Sometimes. Max, go well.
Thank you.
Smashed Geelong.
Yep.
My thoughts will be with you for the first bounce.
Yep.
I'll have recovered from North losing by 10 goals. And I'll be ready to.
Are you a footy watcher Saturday night?
Saturday night, I usually get a bit of footy in.
Yep.
Yeah. Not so much the Friday anymore.
No, I struggle with Fridays.
A little bit tight.
Yeah.
Or sleep, Marty.
By the time I've had a couple of beers and I'm on the couch,
Yep.
night.
Yep.
Night, fat man.
You worried me.